Hey guys, it's Charlie. Welcome back to the channel. Today's gonna be a pretty good update that goes through my second authority website and the massive amounts of content that I've published over the last 15 to 16 months. The site has, experienced some tremendous growth as I've, previously shown on my videos. We're at a little bit of a plateau now. I thought it was a good time to kind of talk about the plan going forward and how I want to kind of grow this website to hit new records of traffic as things have kind of stayed rather flat over the last couple months. I have done a few podcasts recently discussing this site as well as my other site and my path towards building passive online income. I was on Niche Pursuits as well as Doug Cunnington's show. Please be sure to check out both of those. I will leave a link in the description. But let's jump right into this. I'm going to go into publishing 1,100 articles on the site, which is currently where it's at, and my content plans going forward. A lot of stats in this video, as well as some cool updates for some things that have been working really well on the website that I'm excited to continue building out. So just to kind of walk through the basics, the site was started in December 2020. It's my second authority website, very competitive niche. The way I found this site was a really cool story, and maybe I'll just do a quick little overview of that. When I was building my first site and doing keyword research, I was having a tough time finding some lower competition, easy difficulty keywords to go after. And I stumbled upon this one website when I was in Ahrefs that got over 1 million visitors a month organically, according to the Ahrefs statistic numbers. And I said, what is that site doing? That's something that I could potentially pursue. And I decided to build a website in the same niche and target some different keywords, of course, so I wouldn't have to compete with them. But that was really how the second authority site started. I came up with this idea the first week of December. Next day, I bought the domain, wrote my first article, and got it running right away. So I didn't spend a lot of time, picking a logo, building the site out, making it all fancy and good colors. I really just wanted to get a basic theme going, publish content. I was so motivated. I even wrote the first couple articles, even though my plan was to outsource it long term, which is what I'm currently doing to this day. But I was really excited to get up and running, and I knew as soon as an article got published, as soon as things got moving on the content side, it would have time to rank and potentially start bringing in traffic. So that was the original goal for the site. I was really focused on getting into Mediavine and hitting that 50,000 session mark on a monthly basis. That was, the real key. Because my main monetization and only monetization method at this point is ads. So that's just kind of a quick overview. I've discussed that in a few other videos, but I know it's been a little bit of time since I've mentioned that story, so I thought it'd be good to kind of just give an overview. Word count, so 1.17 million words, and now we're starting to hit some amounts that are getting really, really large. But I do want to build the site to 1.5, 2 million words at least. More content, more articles are going to help contribute to that. One little thing on an update here is the average article actually took a jump up, about 10 words. So I am publishing a lot longer pieces of content. A good chunk of the website has a lot of 1,000-word articles, and those articles have done really well because they just answer informational query. And I kind of have a short little paragraph at the beginning of each one of those articles that try and win the snippet. And those articles have done really well in really growing the site's traffic. But now I want to leverage my site's authority and go after some more medium competition keywords and build pieces of content that are 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 words with some great pictures, some good graphics, other links that are helpful, interlinking around my website. That's kind of the plan for growing those pieces of content, adding value there. So I'm excited to start doing more of that, and those articles done really well, and I give a nice preview to that at the end of this video. There's a great chart that shows how I built out that category, and with not many pieces of content, that category is growing really fast. So I'm just seeing the value of longer pieces of content. I think keyword research is obviously the biggest part of that, but these keywords are lower medium in terms of competition, but medium high in terms of keyword volume. So I think they're a real sweet spot to go after and incorporate different aspects of my website quite nicely where internal linking can benefit very much. Organic search traffic. So this is kind of what I was talking about when I first introduced the video today, is I'm hitting a plateau. Growth was very aggressive in 2021. Every month got better than the month before. January had a solid start to the year, and then things kind of got a little flat in February, and March now it's starting to finally work its way back up, and I'm seeing some traffic growth week over week for the past 3 or 4 weeks. Now there's a few theories here. Number one is I think the easing COVID restrictions is encouraging more people to go outside and doing different things, getting off the internet. So I think the volume for searching the keywords that are in my specific niche has gone down. Less people are doing it, less people might be interested, especially this time of the year, which is a good thing, right? I mean, the world's getting back to normal, things are happening, places are opening up, people are going outside, wanting to travel. So I think there's a little bit of a dip in traffic from that. The other thing is with the war in Ukraine, I think that's another thing that people are just kind of more focused on news and things going on around the world. Those searches have probably led more on the news front and war and inflation, all the type of things that are being discussed. So I figured just the interest from normal people typing in phrases might be slightly lower. My site is still growing. I have more keywords ranking. I'm not losing existing rankings from other keywords. So while traffic has been flat, I think it's more of just counteracting lower searches and less volume, but I'm having more articles ranking. So the site is growing. I'm just not going to be able to see that in organic search traffic, which can be very misleading. It can be discouraging to people and, make you want to stop publishing content until the period kind of turns around. I don't think that's a good idea. I'm not going to do that at all. I want to keep pushing out content, keep growing it. I think it can be very tricky in times like this, but it's just a plateau. A lot of things going on in the world right now. Continue to publish content, and I think in the next few months we're really going to be rewarded if we kept putting on new pieces of content on our site. Mediavine earnings last 30 days. So I'm at the point where it's pretty stable, over $3,000 a month when we're in these lower RPM type of months. January was lower RPM by a couple bucks. It moved up a little bit in February and March. And I think just as we approach the end of the first quarter, the next 2 weeks of March are going to have some pretty solid RPMs. So the site will really take advantage of that, and that can contribute to a higher revenue number on a daily basis. But traffic's fairly consistent. I'm pretty much firm at that 150,000 sessions per month mark. I had 1 month, I think, where I had 160,000 sessions, kind of bouncing between those two. The goal is to eventually get this site to 300 to 500,000 sessions. I want to double it. I want to hit the next tier of Mediavine's revenue share, which is 5 million impressions per month on ads. Once you hit that, you go from a 75 to an 80% revenue share. There's actually some other tiers higher than that as your site's larger. So the way you hit more ad impressions is just by having more traffic on your website. And that's pretty much my main goal right now. From day one, it was always hit 1,000 articles. Then my next goal was to join Mediavine. And then once I kind of hit those goals, I kind of need to find something new to go after. That's what it's going to be. I want to hit 5 million monthly ad impressions on Mediavine. And once I hit that mark, my revenue share is going to go up. So that's really kind of what I'm focused on. Higher sessions, more revenue. I think that's something that I really want to focus on for the site. So keyword tracker, I like to keep these up from the prior videos. Each keyword tracker update from SERP Robot is just showing how many keywords I had ranking for different positions, as well as total articles published on the website. So top one had 404 articles, 67 were in the top 100 out of all those articles. And it's just the same thing throughout each one of these updates. And you can just kind of see each time period from February, March, April of 2021 to June, August, November of 2021. And then showing my last update in December versus March now. So a lot more keywords at the top 3, and that's probably the biggest jump or the biggest noteworthy impact from what I got from my SERP Robot tracker. But also you can see I published about another 150 articles as well. So with more content being added to SERP Robot and more keywords to track, these numbers are going to go up. So there's a few ways to look at this. You want to make sure your average positions is maintaining the same spot or improving, and then just kind of breezing through your old keywords that you published maybe 10 months or more ago and making sure they're either retaining their position or continuing to grow. I have made great use of SERP Robot as I'm tracking each single keyword that I have for the main article on the site. And what I'm trying to do is internal link those articles to see what opportunities I could have to get those articles bumped up maybe a little bit higher, whether it's from the second page to the first page or from a top 10 position to a top 5. Internal linking has been very useful for trying to build out the topical authority on the site, carry over some of that link juice, which can just bump it up a few positions. Tracking keywords. So last time I did this update, I had this keyword actually at the 2nd position. A few days later, it dropped back down to the 4th position, which I was kind of expecting. Today, when I woke up, it got back to number 3 position. So it just kind of keeps fluctuating anywhere from 4 to 3 to 2. It gets a good amount of traffic a day, about 20 to 30 sessions organically. It's a very competitive keyword. It's still informational. This was more of just me trying to gauge of the impact of building links and internal linking and adding content to this article. It's something that's been really interesting. It's a very competitive keyword with a lot of volume, and I have these high authority websites ranking all around me. So my authority is like a 37. These sites have 80 to 90 authority according to Ahrefs domain authority score. So it's just more of an experiment to see how adding content and building links can compete with these larger sites. And I think it's been a good experiment, and this traffic that I'm receiving from the article is almost to the point where it's paying off the money I spent on links. Search console, so just very consistent, rather flat, which is fine. I mean, you saw the same thing on my traffic charts between August and November of last year. Even though I was publishing so much content and that content was ranking, the growth wasn't crazy. So I think this plateau is just kind of the same thing that you'd experience maybe at the 1-year mark or just past the 1-year mark. My site's continuing to age, content's continuing to rank, and I have so many new articles going up the last couple of weeks that I think a few months from now, we're gonna pop out of this plateau and maybe we can hit 5,000 to 6,000 sessions per day consistently, numbers that we saw back in November and December. The interesting thing I was excited about was category growth. So I have this one category that is that longer pieces of content where it's anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 words for the most part. I have a couple over 3,000 words, but the sweet spot's really between that 1,500 to 3,000 word mark. And just publishing 18 articles in that space, you can see the type of traffic numbers I'm seeing, and it's really jumped up the last couple of weeks. So I haven't planned to outsource about another 25 articles to that writer to continue to build up that category. I'm adding anywhere from 5 to 10 pictures per post. I also add a custom image that I build in Canva. This is a strategy I've done for each one of these articles, which is separate from everything else I've done on the website. Usually I add about 1, maybe 2 pictures to my normal 1,000-word articles. This content I'm handling a little bit differently. Trying to add more value to the reader, trying to keep them on the page longer, and trying to compete for a higher volume keyword in the medium competition type of landscape. So I figured trying to put a little extra effort into the content will pay off as I'm trying to get a little bit more data for how these categories are doing. But this category has been really exciting, so I'm excited to see what happens as I publish another 25 plus articles in the next few months. Backlink growth. So very interested on backlinks because now when you see a plateau, you look at issues on your site other than content. And I've been really focused on the type of link juice that I have and trying to find more opportunities for how I can grow my current authority. You see things like you have plenty of content and just a couple links here and there from really high DA websites can really propel your host site higher. So it's something I'm really going to focus on the next few weeks. I've done a few new type of outreach where I'm reaching out to people, getting some links, offering to write content for them, and I outsource the content to my top writers. So rather than the writer writing an article for my site, they're writing it for this DA 60 plus site and it's getting approved. So a few of those opportunities are in the pipeline. I think I have about 5 or 6 links I can grab in the next week or so. And then I do have a new link service that I am trying for outreach. The current link provider I have for niche edits has been really good, and I'll also leave a description for him in the comment. I'll leave a link in the description for his service as well as his Skype username. I think it's definitely worth talking to these people and getting an idea of what the links are and what they entail before just blindly placing an order. You can see samples, you can see different things that they're talking about, seeing what they know. Definitely makes you feel a lot more comfortable before you're dropping money. But I'm trying a new service where they're focusing on outreach and trying to find opportunities where we can build relationships with reporters and different media outlets to secure those type of links that you really can't buy per se, but you have to spend money on people to do the genuine outreach and create those type of opportunities. Those links are really good because they can be really high authority, and also no one else is really trying to pay for them because they can't be acquired that way. So that's going to hopefully build that domain authority. I want to get my domain rating in the 40s. That's really what I want to be at in the next few weeks, where by the time I do this next update, I have a little bit more juice there. Ahrefs is reporting super high organic traffic numbers compared to my last update, and keywords has remained rather flat. There must be something going on with an update because I actually lost a lot of keywords according to Ahrefs in the last few weeks, even though my SERP robot tracker's up and SEMrush is showing more keywords. So it might just be a different way that Ahrefs is getting the data. Could be delayed, could be a preview to maybe traffic going down in a few weeks, but who knows? It's just numbers. I don't really focus too much on the organic keywords and organic traffic numbers on Ahrefs necessarily. Really just use it for the link data. And going forward, I want to hit 1,200 articles quite soon. I'm actually shocked how much content I was able to put up the last couple weeks, but I'm only 70 articles away from that 1,200 article mark. I think it's a good goal to get to as we approach the end of Q1, and it should position me quite well to hitting 1,500 articles by the end of the year. This is not a site where I'm trying to hit like a certain article number and then just stop or sell it right away. I want to continue to grow this and kind of see where traffic can go before I reassess what I'm going to do long term in terms of selling the site or keeping it and just trying to build this cash cow type of asset that can pay out a monthly check for Mediavine and continue to grow. I'm really excited with the new categories that I'm working on. I mentioned that earlier. There's a big traffic opportunity with the next 25 articles I'm doing. I did the keyword research and I'm really excited to see what type of traffic can come from that. Outside just that category, there's some other things I want to spend time on to see what are the categories I can build longer term. Currently, I want to say I'm at around 5 or 6 writers. 2 of them are from buy-sell text. The other 4 are different freelancers that I've picked up from Upwork, all at different price ranges, anywhere from $15 to $35 per 1,000 words. It really depends on what they're working on and how long it takes me to edit the content. But they all have been really good. The delivery's been great, and I'm happy to keep working with them going forward. Sometimes things can get busy and I have a little bit of a backlog with getting those articles uploaded. I still edit each and every one of them, so I gotta remain focused on as soon as the article comes in, I give the writer feedback, I get that article edited, and I get it to the site as soon as possible so it can start ranking. And I'm trying these new tactics for outreach. I really want to focus on building more links and just growing the brand of the site. I'm starting to notice as I do keyword research, I'm getting away from those sites that have lower domain authority and getting closer to those sites that have the 40, 50, 60 domain authority in my space. So I think if I want to compete with those bigger sites, I need to step up my authority game. I am a fairly new site, still only being 15.5 months old, but I think as the next 6 months approach and I hit that 1.5 to 2 year mark for this site, I think having more authority and getting my name out there is only going to help the brand going forward. So very good update for today. Make sure you check the description for those links for the podcast, as well as my information from my link provider. Anything else that you need, leave a comment. Happy to answer those questions. I'm thinking of doing a video in the future where I just kind of go through the comments and answer some questions. I know there's been a lot that's been asked the last couple months that it may have been missed, but if you have a question, leave in the comments and we'll try and go through it. Thanks again for following along, and I look forward to sharing the next update. Thanks.